Some books are not meant to comfort. They are not meant to reassure you that everything will be fine or that life has simple answers. Instead, they hold up a mirror to the darkest corners of the human soul, forcing you to confront truths you would rather ignore. Osamu Dazai's No Longer Human is one such book. It is not just a novel, it is a confession, a psychological autopsy, and the chilling portrait of a man who can no longer call himself human. The story follows Oba Yozo, a man born into privilege but never able to feel at home in the world. From the beginning, he is different. Where others laugh naturally, he learns to mimic laughter. Where others connect easily, he hides behind masks. His childhood is marked not by innocence, but by a profound alienation. He looks at the world as if through a glass wall, always observing, never belonging. Yozo quickly discovers a strategy to survive. He becomes a clown. He makes jokes, plays the fool, entertains others so they never see the void inside him. To the world, he is charming, funny, even delightful. But in truth, his humour is camouflage. Behind the performance lies a terror of exposure, a fear that if anyone truly saw him, they would recognise his emptiness, his shame, his unworthiness of love. This dissonance between appearance and reality defines his entire existence. On the surface, Yozo moves through society like everyone else. But internally, he feels like an imposter in his own life. He describes himself as disqualified from being human. This phrase is more than despair, it is a diagnosis. He believes there is something fundamentally broken in him, something that no amount of friendship, love, or success can fix. Dazai's brilliance lies in how intimately he reveals this psychology. Yozo does not simply feel lonely, he feels unfit for existence itself. His alienation is not the loneliness of being alone in a room. It is the deeper loneliness of being surrounded by people and still feeling invisible, still feeling like a fraud. He is not just disconnected from others, he is disconnected from himself. As Yozo grows older, his despair deepens. He turns to women, seeking refuge in their kindness. But instead of genuine love, his relationships become acts of dependency. He cannot see women as equals, as individuals with their own lives. Instead, he clings to them as lifelines, desperate to escape the crushing weight of his own emptiness. Inevitably, these relationships collapse under the weight of his need. Again and again, Yozo's yearning for salvation only drives him deeper into ruin. His self-destructive cycle extends beyond love. He turns to alcohol, to drugs, to reckless indulgence. Anything to numb the voice inside him that whispers, "You do not belong here. You are no longer human." Each indulgence brings momentary relief, but leaves him emptier than before. It is the psychology of addiction captured with terrifying precision, the futile attempt to fill an inner void with external access. Throughout the novel, Yozo's confessions are raw, unflinching, and disturbingly relatable. Many readers find themselves unsettled by how much of their own hidden thoughts echo in his words. Who has not, at some point, felt like they were performing in order to be accepted? Who has not feared that their true self, if revealed, would be unworthy of love? Dazai's genius is that he takes these fleeting insecurities and magnifies them into a life-dominating force. But this is not a story of redemption. There is no happy ending, no sudden transformation, where Yozo learns to embrace life. Instead, his downward spiral continues relentlessly. Each attempt at stability, through work, through marriage, through friendship, crumbles under the weight of his despair. He sabotages himself again and again, unable to escape the gravitational pull of his own alienation. The novel reaches its most harrowing moments as Yozo finally collapses under the weight of his addictions and failures. He ends up institutionalized, stripped of dignity, stripped of purpose, and more alone than ever. At this point, he declares himself disqualified as a human being. It is a verdict, final and irreversible. There is no redemption, no resurrection, only the acknowledgement of complete disconnection from humanity. What makes No Longer Human so haunting is not just Yozo's tragedy, but the fact that it was written by a man living the same tragedy. Osamu Dazai poured his own despair, his own addictions, his own alienation into this novel. Like Yozo, Dazai struggled with women, with alcohol, with the unbearable weight of existence. Shortly after publishing the book, he took his own life. That knowledge makes the novel feel less like fiction and more like a suicide note left behind for the world. The psychological impact of this book is devastating because it dismantles illusions. It shows that some people are not simply misunderstood, they are profoundly unable to adapt to the demands of human life. Yozo is intelligent, sensitive, even talented. But those very qualities become twisted against him. His sensitivity turns to fragility. His intelligence turns to self-loathing. His talent becomes paralysed by despair. Yet paradoxically, readers find comfort in this bleakness, because within Yozo's words, they recognise their own secret fears. The fear of not belonging. The fear of being a fraud. The fear that beneath the mask we wear, there is nothing worth loving. Dazai gives voice to the feelings most people bury. By doing so, he creates a strange kind of solidarity. Even as Yozo declares himself no longer human, the reader feels seen, feels human in their recognition of his pain. From a psychological perspective, No Longer Human is a study in alienation, addiction, and the destructive power of shame. Shame is the emotion that drives Yozo's entire existence. He is not merely sad, he is ashamed of being himself. Shame corrodes his ability to connect, to trust, to love, to live. And shame, once it becomes identity, is nearly impossible to escape. But perhaps the most terrifying part of the novel is not Yozo's collapse, it is how ordinary his starting point is. He is not a monster, he is not evil. He is simply a boy who never felt like he belonged, who learned to wear masks, who numbed his pain with whatever distractions he could find. In that sense, he is not so different from us. His despair is extreme, but its roots are familiar. This is why No Longer Human endures across cultures and generations. Though set in early 20th century Japan, its themes are universal. In a world where people curate perfect lives on social media while privately drowning in emptiness, Yozo feels more relevant than ever. The pressure to perform, the fear of exposure, the hunger for validation, these are not relics of Dazai's time. They are the very fabric of ours. And yet, the novel does not give easy answers. It does not tell us how to overcome alienation, how to defeat shame, how to find belonging. Instead, it leaves us with the raw experience of what happens when these battles are lost. It is a warning, a mirror, and a challenge to confront the parts of ourselves that we would rather hide. In the end, No Longer Human is not about death, though it ends in despair. It is about the slow erosion of identity, the gradual surrender of humanity to shame and addiction. It is about what happens when the masks we wear become so fixed that we lose sight of who we are beneath them. Dazai's novel remains one of the most powerful explorations of the human psyche ever written. It is brutal, uncompromising, and unforgettable, and while it offers no redemption, it offers something perhaps more valuable: the courage to see ourselves honestly, even in our darkest moments. Because if there is one lesson hidden in Yozo's despair, it is this: to remain human is not about perfection, or success, or even happiness. It is about connection, and the moment we lose that, the moment we believe ourselves unworthy of it, we begin to drift toward the fate that consumed Yozo. No Longer Human is a tragedy, but it is also a mirror, and in its reflection we are forced to ask, how close are we to losing our own humanity, and what must we do to keep it?